What's going on? Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com. On today's video, I'm going to be teaching you a bunch of different topics that women really respond to when you're talking to them in conversation. And I know it seems kind of far-fetched, like, I don't understand. You just talk about these topics and she's magically attracted to you. In a weird way, yes, that's actually what happens. I'll tell you why. Women are attracted to a man when he has a very charismatic personality, when she feels at ease talking to him, when she's talking to him and he feels or he appears very confident when he's talking to her. Okay, these things are very harder to fake, right? Your personality is harder to fake. So these are honest signals that actually make a woman attracted to you, your personality. Combine that with making sure you optimize your looks, and really you're going to be in a very good place for attracting women. So we're going to do that with certain topics that we know women are interested in, so that when you're talking to them, they're going to have a spike of emotions. They're going to associate that with you and this fun conversation with you. It's going to allow you to be, like I said, appear more charismatic because you're just talking comfortably and having a good time, and it's going to make you appear more confident. So these are some topics that you can use. And real quick, I have a few more bonus topics that you can actually use with examples that I'm going to be giving you in something I call Chick Crack. Chick Crack is a free video I have. The reason why I call it Chick Crack is because it's really awesome topics that women like to talk about, in addition to the ones that we'll be talking about today. Some you'll hear about today are on that video, but there's a few extra that are going to be really cool. So I know you hate the long-winded introduction. Let's get into it. The first one, travel. Oh man, women love to talk about travel. I couldn't even imagine what the amount of Instagram travel bloggers there are out there, and women who love to take pictures of themselves traveling. Women love to travel. I've never met a woman who either doesn't want to travel, who hasn't traveled before. So meaning you're going to be meeting women who either really want to travel or just women who have traveled. It's a fun conversation. Women love to talk about it. I don't really have a reason why, but you'll find that it's such a rich conversation to have that they're going to want to talk to you and tell their stories. And bonus, if you've traveled, you'll be able to talk about your stories and all the things surrounding whatever travels you are going to do or have done. So it brings for a lot of rich conversation because there's so much there. Travel. Ask her where she's traveled. Guess where she's traveled. Whatever you need to do, get conversation centered around travel. But I should warn you, try not to make any conversation ever be about one topic. That way it's going to be hard for her to get to know you. So you should make sure there's several topics. Let's go to the next one. Relationships. I don't know if you have heard of this magazine before because people don't really read magazines anymore, but you can at least go to the website. Cosmopolitan magazine was and maybe still is one of the most popular female magazines of all time. It is insanely popular, and pretty much that entire book, magazine, is filled with stuff about sex and relationships. There's also a lot of things about fashion and other girly things, but otherwise just understand that there's a lot of stuff about relationships and boyfriends and sex and all that stuff. So another topic you can bring up is something centered around the idea of relationships. You can bring this up and talk about anyone that, her family's in a relationship with, like a brother or sister. You can bring this up in terms of her friends, or you can ask her if she has any crazy stories about any date she's ever been on. What's the worst date she's ever been on? What's the best date she's ever been on? So anything surrounding relationships. Again, it doesn't really have to do with her. Travel, it did. But this one, it's anything about relationships. It could have nothing to do with her and her past relationships or sexual adventures or whatever. But she likes to talk about it even if it's outside of her world. Women like to talk about it. If you see Sex in the City, if you watch, Gossip Girl, any of these female-driven shows, they are mostly centered around relationships, and it's a big part of it. I know that a lot of other shows that women are into are centered around other things too, but the female-driven ones, relationship heavy. So that's a great topic of conversation to bring up. Next is astrology or the supernatural. So asking her sign, if she believes in signs, asking her if she's ever seen a ghost. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like any woman I've ever talked to has had some experience with a ghost. They feel like they've seen a ghost. They've been tapped into some energy source with the supernatural. Most women I've talked to, there's some story behind that, or they know a girlfriend who has a story behind it. Either way, it's kind of an interesting topic of conversation, but anything with supernatural, ghost, astrology, future projections, things like that, interesting topic. Women like to talk about it. Absolutely bring that up in conversation. Next, her passions. It's interesting. Millennials, right? This kind of next generation, even though I know there's Gen Z as well, but this is included. We were raised and brought up to do whatever we wanted to do in life, right? It wasn't about just making a hard-earned buck. It's about what, we can do what we love. That's like the new thing in the new generations, like doing what your passion is, what you love. So this is something that's brought into, a lot of us, guys included. So women, they're going to have passions. They're going to want to talk about their passions. You might also, but women do aspire to be something or do something one day related to a passion. So it could have to do with work, but it also can be just some sort of hobby. This is something you can absolutely bring up, talking about passion in general, asking her what it is. And if she doesn't have one, ask about that. Say, I'm curious. I meet a lot of people that do have passions. Is there anything you're passionate about? By the way, if she's not passionate about anything, kind of a boring conversation, a boring girl. I don't know if you should be hanging out with that girl. But this is a conversation topic that women do like to talk about. Next is food. Another thing that's so big these days, foodie. You ever heard the term foodie? Right? Someone who's really into food. Can you imagine talking to someone from hundreds of years ago and saying that you're a foodie when they're just like, yeah, I'm just trying to hunt to survive, right? So this is the cool thing right now. It's being a foodie. Oh, have you tried this restaurant? Have you been to this restaurant? Have you ever tried these weird pieces of sushi? Have you been to this new cafe that serves this kind of coffee and does this? Or, every woman likes their coffee in a different kind of way, and men do too, but we're foodies. Men are foodies, women are foodies, we're all foodies now, okay? I'm included in this ridiculousness. I would consider myself a foodie. I don't call myself a foodie, except for the moment I just did there, but we have more opportunities to eat interesting kinds of foods. Restaurants are trying to expand and do new stuff. Food's interesting. People like to have badges of honor because of all the different types of food that they've tried. People take pictures of their food. It's really hilarious. Again, guilty over here. Maybe you're guilty too. Bring up food. Ask her the best restaurant she's been to in the past year. What's the most she's ever spent on a meal before? Has she ever eaten any food in any crazy countries that she's traveled to? So you can start combining this stuff, right, and mixing it all together. This is a great topic of conversation. And there's a few more that are going to be huge and that you're really going to want to talk about. And I'm sure you probably want as many topics of conversation because you don't want to run out. So check out Chick Crack, link down below. Real quick, here's what you're going to do. To make this easy, start with one. I think the easiest one to start with is asking a girl her sign. That's what I would do in terms of taking away like what to use from this video. Like, what can you do now? Ask a girl her sign, see what happens. 9 times out of 10, they're going to know their sign, know what it's all about. They're going to maybe even know if they're compatible with you based on your sign. So you should know your sign too, so you guys can talk about that. And it can be really fun and flirty to talk about each other's signs, because you can do this kind of push-pull flirtation where she's like, oh, I'm a Pisces, you're an Aries, oh, we're never going to get along. And you're like, yeah, we're never going to get along. You know what? We should just stop talking right now. We should end this date. You and I are just not meant to be. And this is this kind of flirtation, pushing her away, metaphorically speaking, and being more of a challenge, which actually makes her more attracted to you. And so do these conversations. So use them, use this. Let's see how it goes. Let me know down below which one you think is the best. And of course, don't forget to check out Chick Crack for more topics of conversation that women want to talk about. Talk to you soon.